When it comes to public transit, the difference between a system that just works and one that people want to use often comes down to the details. The O-Train network in Ottawa has made big strides, but there are still a few things that, if improved, could make the experience significantly better for riders. Some of these are low-cost, common-sense changes. Others are simply long overdue fixes. So let's go through some key ideas that could really enhance the O-Train system. More midday train frequency. This one caused quite a stir when it was announced a year ago, and it still ticks me off every time I just miss the train by mere seconds. Reducing headways or the time frequency between trains off-peak in the middle of the day to every 10 minutes might be fine on paper, but not in reality. It only takes a slight delay to make your overall trip jump another 30 minutes, especially when bus connections are involved. This is definitely something that's gone on long enough, and it needs to end. I'm not suggesting 5-minute frequencies midday, but even 7 or 8 minutes is much better than 10. Remember, many people are making bus connections with mere minutes to spare when getting off the train. If they miss their train by even 10 seconds, that can add another 30 minutes to their overall trip as they wait for the next bus that hopefully arrives on time. There is light at the end of the tunnel, sort of. It has been mentioned that when the temporary speed restrictions on Line 1 are lifted, trains would travel the line quicker, shaving off a few minutes off the trip time and reducing the frequency to around 7 or 8 minutes. But let's be honest, there are no indications the speed restrictions will be lifted or removed anytime soon. So, shorter station dwell times. And unfortunately for my blood pressure, this one irks me as well. With the 10-minute frequencies and the temporary speed restrictions, Line 1 trains are already slow enough. But then you add in 30 to 60-second station dwell times, especially during off-peak hours when few people are boarding, and the end-to-end trip becomes even more sluggish. There's no need to sit at Searville or Pimicee for half a minute with doors wide open when barely a handful of people get on or off. In Montreal, trains stop for 5 or 10 seconds at most stations. Ottawa could easily adopt shorter, dynamic dwell times based on platform activity. Equal service hours across all lines. The hours of the various O-Train lines do not match up. Of course, in most cities, this is the case. But for the most part, we are talking about a 15 to 20-minute variation on opening and closing times. On the O-Train, Line 1 opens at 5 a.m. on weekdays, but lines 2 and 4 only start at 6 a.m. That 1 hour gap might not sound like much, but it's the difference between being able to catch a morning flight or not. Travelers staying downtown have no way to reach the airport by train before 6 a.m. OC Transpo has already indicated they would work to match or at least come close to have the opening time of Line 2 be closer to Line 1. However, this likely does not address Line 4 to the airport. One potential solution? Run Line 4 as an early express shuttle from Bayview to the airport, with an intermediate stop at South Keys between 5 and 6 a.m. This way, people can still make it by train without resorting to bus, at what is likely the busiest time period for the airport with the most departures of the day. It would go a long way towards giving people a truly connected transit option, especially in the city trying to promote rail over road. Better disruption communication. Whenever there's a service disruption, the message is usually vague. Something like stop train. That can mean anything. A mechanical issue, a medical emergency, a stuck door, or worse. Passengers deserve more transparency. Adding brief but clear descriptors like track switch problem or medical emergency would help riders understand what's going on and adjust accordingly. Including estimated restoration times would also reduce anxiety and uncertainty. This is something the STM in Montreal has done for years and really gives riders an idea of what to expect, whether it will be a 5-minute delay or something that will drag on for more than an hour or two. Line 1 in particular has now been open for nearly 6 years, so surely at this point, OC Transpo and RTM have a good sense of how long something will take to resolve to give an estimate publicly. Real-time train tracking. It's 2025 and I can open the Transit app and see it on the map, where my bus is before it arrives and how long it will take to get here. Meanwhile, on O-Train Line 1, and we're not even talking about the new Line 2 or 4, we still don't have real-time train tracking online or in any app like Transit. You can only see train wait times on the platform information displays. This is especially frustrating when using one of the downtown underground stations, which does take a few minutes to reach the concourse or platform level. With the 10-minute frequencies we just talked about midday, you never know if you should take your time going down the station or rush to avoid missing the train that only comes every 10 minutes. Giving riders live info would help with timing transfers, planning commutes, and reducing frustration. If buses have GPS tracking, there's no excuse for the train system not to have the same. I would also add that some stations, especially those where you can't see the platform from far, should have an additional platform information displayed near the entrance, so you know as you enter what to expect and prepare yourself mentally. Retail opportunities at stations. Many Line 1 stations were built with retail spaces in mind, but very few have actually been filled. A quick convenience store, coffee kiosk, or snack shop would make a world of difference for commuters and visitors alike. Montreal's Metro has long embraced this, and it works. When you just want a quick snack, a water or pop, you don't have to go far to get it. At this time, we have 3 O-Train stations that have coffee shops, which is pretty cool. But looking back to the bus transitway days, there were many that had small quickies, just like Montreal. Talking Place d'Orleans, Blair, Herdman, Tunney's Pasture, Lincoln Fields, Bayshore, Baseline, and more. Definitely plenty of opportunity, and many were designed with future retail spaces in mind. Let's get to it. The good news is OC has indicated they are looking into such opportunities, even some vending machines as options for stations. Let's make it so. Improve cleanliness and maintenance. I thought I wasn't going to talk about this one. Yeah? Oh, all right. I'll get this out of the way at the start. The station cleanliness was a bit of an issue the past years, but RTM and the cleaning crews have definitely stepped up their game, and it has become less of an issue. But there's always room for improvement. Nothing irks me more than spider webs in plain sight, especially around light fixtures and elements that enhance the sparkling, glistening silk. Thick spider webs, grime-covered glass walls, and discolored tiles send the wrong message. While some cleaning does occur, it's clearly not enough. In discussions with others, a more thorough dusting or some use of the pressure washer would do wonders in many spots. The system has barely been open 6 years. We need to be proud of what we have here in Ottawa and show it some TLC. I'd also like to take a moment to talk about winter. It's one thing to salt walkways for safety, but some O-Train stations look like they've been hit with a salt cannon. Excessive amounts damage infrastructure and look messy. I think it has been acknowledged in recent transit meetings, but hopefully we see some improvements on this front, as it is discouraging to see lots of rusty areas, especially around steel elements that were salted. Prior to releasing this video, we shared our 7 easy win ideas with OC Transpo to get the response. But many answers don't quite address the rider experience. They say midday trains were cut to every 10 minutes to save money, still meeting capacity needs. But that doesn't solve missed bus connections or longer trips due to the delay. Longer waits at stations are mostly to manage track switches near the ends of the line, though they're reviewing this with the Stage 2 extensions. Line 1 and 2 start times Monday to Saturday should start to align later in 2025. But through service, like I suggested on Line 4, won't happen due to Line 2's track layout. For disruptions, they'll keep pushing quick updates even without full details, and they're also now in Blue Sky. Real-time tracking is promised through a new data feed to supply online and app platforms, but there's no date yet. Retail pilots like vending machines and pop-ups are planned, and more retail is coming to Stage 2 stations. They say cleaning is improving with audits and new equipment, though winter salt may linger when more snow or precipitation remains in the forecast. So progress is happening, but on key rider issues like frequency and trip times, OC Transpo still hasn't offered much change. We'll keep following up. While we kept this brief, you can read their full detailed response, which we posted on our website. Link is in the video description below. These aren't just nitpicks, they're opportunities. Real, tangible changes that could dramatically improve the day-to-day experience of riding the O-Train. Whether it's catching an early morning flight, understanding what's causing a delay, or just grabbing a coffee while waiting for your train, these changes matter. So let's keep the conversation going. What improvements would you like to see? Leave a comment, share your ideas, and let's make transit better together. Attention! Railfans Canada releases new videos every Monday morning. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our latest content.